Thanks for sticking with us tonight on this dry and windy day. Those conditions lingering in our forecast. Metro fire departments staying on alert for wildfires. 6 News' Philip Katafamo spoke with Bennington Fire about their plans for fire season. He joins us live now from the studio. So, Philip, so many fires have popped up lately.
Yeah, that's right, Jacqueline. Wildfires, of course, are not a new phenomenon in Nebraska. And when they pop up, fire crews statewide have multiple resources to pull from. A total of 10 fires ignited across eastern Nebraska yesterday. Now, you're looking at a brush fire in Sarpy County here. Now, Bennington Fire Chief Dan Mallory tells me his crew was on standby, and they still are today. Mallory says the department listens closely to radio traffic to see if their services are needed. If a large fire breaks out, Bennington relies on neighboring and volunteer stations for mutual aid. However, it can be tough to staff volunteer stations, which creates concern on a busy day like yesterday.
The volunteer fire service is really struggling to get volunteers anymore. And so a lot of departments are hurting for personnel. They relied on people in town that worked in town. Their employers would let them leave work to respond on calls, and that doesn't always happen anymore. So we're seeing a shortage of volunteers.
Chief Mallory says they provide mutual aid to multiple agencies and volunteer stations across the region. However, long travel distances can delay response times depending on how far that help is needed. Now, Mallory says his department is well staffed to handle incidents as they occur. They have about 40 volunteers along with about 14 full-time firefighters on staff. On your side, Philip Katafamo, 6 News. Back to you, Jacqueline.